you didn't catch them, today especially, they were amazing.
And then watch them again. So we see Curse on that blue side. Let me hear you for Curse.
Jackie just used his teleport to the mid. Jackie's going with the, oh my goodness, I love this from Curse right now. They're rushing to get that ward up. They don't want to have one of those level 1 invades go bad. Jackie just used his teleport to get that ward off.
See what he has on that 270-second cooldown. So I don't know if he's running that mastery, but he did get the teleport, like you said. And he's probably going to have that up in necessary time to really make an effect on any other lane or get back to his if he wants. Curse now setting up on the side. They have not warded to make sure they don't get invaded.
Yeah, Curse putting a lot of emphasis on this bush behind the red buffs. They warded the enemies, and then they all go sit in their own. But it just so happens TSM playing very defensively right here. If we see the fog of war, they get a little bit of vision here. They know TSM not looking for any invades, and they're just going to start this one out. Looks like a normal game here. So Reggie did, with that final pickup of the Diana in the middle, we'll have to see, because last time they actually had him on the Diana, it didn't turn out so well. They used him as initiate with the Zanyas, sort of in a ghetto-rigged up Messiah style there, and it did not really work out. This time, though, they have the Bash Bros. So that's going to be the teleport down as well as the cleanse down.
Cop says, look what I can do. No hands.
Hey, Jackie, it's solidarity right there. You got one summoner down. I'm gonna play that too. They can actually bluff this because there's no way that TSM knows.
Oh, he is disappointed right now. At least nobody knows it, right? They don't have a ward. They don't know he blew it. So as long as he plays safe, they're walking through one right now. So this could actually get very bad if they get crowd control on Cop.
Odd One's got a turnaround right here, and St. Fish has been very vocal about how he likes to invade the Odd One's jungle. He feels like Odd One doesn't put out enough pressure, and they're going to take advantage of it right now. This does give Reggie free farm in the middle, as well as Dyrus a few free farm in the bottom. Now, both those lanes have to be careful because Curse are going to be coming from behind them.
And this gives Xpecial time to go down, and also ward Curse's blue buff. We're going to see Voyboy taking a bit of damage up top, but he is on his Akali. Excited to see what he can pull out in that fight phase in the later part of the game and see what tricks he can pull by avoiding ganks in this top lane, because we will more than likely see that 3v1. If the turrets go down, Curse could have an early dragon, and we'll see if they can push that advantage if it gets there.
Perfectly timed ward by Voyboy. He put the defensive ward on the ramp up to the blue, and it sees out the entire invade from TSM. All three men coming in here. They sent their AD and support middle, so Element's coming over to defend this as well. St. Vicious also converging. A pink ward goes down by the blue, so they know that there's no vision for Curse, but they still decide to back out.
Voyboy, this is a big pinch here. They grab the odd one. They're going to be forced to go back in just for a few bits of damage. Curse on the outside still pegging in damage, but everybody's pretty much melee and they can't get it in.
Very well played by Curse right there. TSM going the only path given to them by Curse. They really just fell into Curse's hands right now, but St. Vicious,
oh my God,
they haven't given up on the invade, and they force Saint back.
They know that they're not warded out. They have the upper hand on vision. A blue goes down, so they know they can't really mess with it as much, but wow. They are putting 4 people on this right now. The blue buff is that much of an objective coming in here. They're trying to throw it out St. Vicious. They know they need to get it back. Odd One is going to be looking to grab the blue buff after the fight, but they're looking for the first kills here. 3.5 minutes into the game, going very aggressive, and this was not a red elixir start for anybody but Dyrus. Dyrus isn't even in the fight, so they're all working with whatever abilities they've taken. Reginald is level 3, but most of everyone else is 1 and 2.
Everyone ignoring minion waves here. We've got a 4-on-4 in the jungle. Level 2 brawl at 4 minutes. The blue buff finally getting below half. Who can smite it?
It did not go to TSM. It did go to Saint. So it looks like double golem buff going over. Team solo mids. Odd One is going to be without that for the first half of this game. First 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes of this game.
So everybody else going to be level 2 over there. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, we got Dyrus on level 4 and Jackie on level 4 on the Kazakhs. There we go. That's going to put a real discrepancy in power balance between the rest of the lanes. St. Vicious, though, I have to say, everyone gives him a lot of flack for not being able to smite. That was 4 people from each team around the blue buffs. He does come away with it.
There was a lot of craziness, too, because your team is thinking, like, we want it so much that everybody's about to use abilities, so he must have been calling that. I have it. I'm timing it. Bam. So that's going to be big. Odd One's very low on mana right now, so we're going to see him probably go back after Wolves, and we see that it's going to be St. Vicious still in the jungle and may actually come up for Voyboy here on the bottom after his golems.
Voyboy is very happy. with that Akali pick. He's at home with it. The little changes that came out in the last match aren't there yet. The vision changes for her Shroud are the hook lands on to Reginald. They don't want to follow it up though. Elements just showing that he can indeed land those death sentences.
And look at all the pressure they're actually creating. Voidboy farmed out that top lane quite hard. He actually doesn't have that much CS, but it's pushed, so he's come down mid. They had 3 in mid now to push this mid turret down to open up the map of Team Solo Mid.
And Wild Turtle's doing a good job. He's just freezing that lane up by the top turret, getting a lot of free CS. Meanwhile, down bottom, Dyrus very happy with that matchup. He's got a long lane versus a Kha'Zix, and Jackie, not very accustomed to the long lane, was getting bullied there. Dyrus, with a nice CS lead, goes in on St. Vicious.
The teleport coming in. Dyrus has to flash out of this. Jackie flashes 4. He gets the slow. No slow yet. Oh, it's so sad. Too bad. He is going to try to chase down, though. He will get the few last attacks on. Oh, no, he gets the kill. The last was enough burst of damage there as he gets it onto First Blood on Dyrus.
The teleport from Jackie back up from that level 1 ward placement that he had done. Dyrus a little overconfident there. Really was on a high from the CS lead he had down there in the bottom. He was bullying this Kha'Zix the whole time. May have forgot about the teleport. Tried to dive Saint and paid for that with his life.
So Jackie gets back to lane, now trying to stack the tier. He holds it down on the bottom. And as we see these lanes, like you said, Dyrus having a pretty good time. We look at Voidboy. If that was to be a 1v1 from their 2v1s, it's 9-41 in CS.
Yeah, they really needed that first blood. Even with the first blood, the gold is even here. TSM had such a huge lead from minions that Curse only just now got back to even.
Yeah, with that first blood. So we can see really where the factor's going. Spread out across the team for Team Solo Mid. See if Jackie can get going and carry a bit of the snowball he's got rolling down the hill right now. It's still quite hot, so he really has to work hard. 7 minutes on to this one. Voidboy so much harassed under the turret, and he's only gotten 4 CS since he's been back to lane.
We just talked about how Dyrus was the more safe and consistent top laner too, and then he goes with the dive there, paying for that with his life. Yep. The top lane here doing a lot of work though. Wild Turtle's doing a good job, almost taking down that top turret. They're going to keep on shoving this. Saint tries to come in to help wave clear, but he's a level 5 Nautilus. He doesn't have that ultimate for the gank potential, so it'll be hard for them to actually turn it around into a kill.
This is really going to be a different game. From the junglers, we've already seen that they're not the 2v1 ganks. The top turret is going to go down in favor of Team Solo Mid, which in reality, Curse should be taking the bottom one. They should have switched this around, so the Dragon could still go in Team Solo Mid's favor.
And Jackie now brawling with Dyrus once again.
He's going to try to get out, uses the ultimate, so he gets that bit of resistance, and it's going to be a jump away to save him. Dyrus a little too big right now with that ultimate and the Dorans.
That's a pretty big cooldown for him. But
yeah,
they both have the red pots ticking, and the bottom turret actually has a decent amount of damage on it too. We'll have to see. We see Wild Turtle as well as Special coming down to the bottom lane, so they are indeed switching the lanes back. They want to finish up with this pressure down bottom lane. Will Dyrus hang around and help them? And with Voidboy top with no teleport, they could also go for that dragon.
And really what they've done by, I think, putting Saint just on this and really stop the fact that TSM or Curse likes objectives. You heard Reginald in that post-game interview saying that this is what we need to ban out against them, and Saint isn't able to get and help every lane like he usually is.
They are clearing out that dragon, and they do start it up. Voidboy way too far away, so if this is going to happen for Curse, it'll have to be a magical steal here.
Yeah, there's no teleports coming in for anybody. So, like you said, magical, nope, it's going to fizzle out. Not happening. Odd1 grabs that up for the team. 12,000 gold is quickly within a few minutes. They grab that gold lead. And Voidboy to stay up top, 68-24. He's been left alone and has only grabbed 10 CS to his name.
Yep, very well executed by TSM so far. Even though they were the purple team, because of all the action that happened early, and we saw in the challenger matches, usually it's the blue team getting that advantage, getting the bottom turret, and then going into dragon. Even though they're the purple team, TSM with the first dragon, they also keep Voidboy sequestered up there in the top lane. He's freezing that lane up by his top turret. So at least for Curse, they're getting some free farm on that assassin right now, which they actually really are going to need.
Odd1 coming in, but walking through a ward, so they know the pressure is going to be on the bottom lane. If any pings start to come here, Saint is in the top, so it looks like they may have to drop this. That dragon has already been taken down, and TSM is taking such a stranglehold on the map right now. It's causing all of Curse to have to move for this.
It's interesting too, now Reggie comes down even before the rest of Curse get there. It's going to be a 4-on-4 bottom. Voyboy coming down. Will he choose to go to the mid lane to pull up with Dire? Oh, it's going to be 4-4 inside the turret. They do get the turret down, and he goes on to Cop.
Reginald goes in, that blue buff on. He does have the cooldown back to the ulti. He gets stopped up by Cop's ultimate, so the disengage is there. We'll have to see if they can get some aggression back onto this fight. Reginald's going to poke back with that blue buff. He flashes to get himself out of range, but the hook is going to be there. The death sentence is on. They're forced back into this one as Nijacking teleports in from the backside. Bullet time crosses the entire team. Can they get the resets in? Voyboy takes down Reginald. Odd One tries to keep going in. They're kiting quite hard, but it looks like they could take them out. They're afraid of Wild Turtle.
2 for 2, and they're running. Dyrus wasn't even there for that team fight. Now he's coming down from the top lane. He wants to cut them off from the back. Will they do a tower dive, though? He has his ultimate available
Get that
and
first
Ignite.
slice. The first slice may hit here. He throws on the ultimate. He does get the first slice. The dice is also impacting. A call of the Meek for Jackie. One last tick on the Ignite, and he drops the bug. Dyrus from coast to coast for a kill.
He finally does come down. It was a well-played team fight there from TSM. You saw the power of the AoE. That bullet time just devastated all of Curse. Curse were chasing, trying to get in there because they knew they had the number advantage because they saw Dyrus still middle, but it actually sort of baited themselves. TSM come out ahead, and they pull that red buff on their way out with the counter jungle.
11.5 minutes in, 16,600 gold to 13,000. That's in favor of Team Solo Mid right now. Our last matchup of the day. These teams pretty much going neck and neck. Just in the early part of the game, we had almost no farming as it was a 4v4 in the jungle over the blue buffs. These guys are really testing each other's strengths in this game.
Now, Voyboy comes face to face with Reggie, and he decides to play it very cautiously.
Absolutely. But yeah, let's take a look at our featured matchup of the day. That is Voyboy versus Dyrus. And what happened on those 2v1 lanes was pretty detrimental to Voyboy.
Yeah, it was painful. All the early game shenanigans around the blue buff really hurt him in that too, because Dyrus was down there in a lane versus Jackie where he was just bullying and getting free farm basically. So that's really where that discrepancy came from. A lot of switches early means that our featured matchup not really matched up.
Yeah. They really did outplay the game. It was kind of seeing the first game where they took the towers down to the inhibitor so fast it kind of made the AD carries nullified and the impact they had. And they kind of did that to Voyboy by, like you said, walking around. He has just been away from that experience. And I like the fact that TSM did that, right? We said in the pregame, they did it from the pregame phase. Picks and bans were where they started their strategy, and it's been working the whole time. Let's take Dyrus, put him bottom and farm. If we focus on their blue, Voyboy has to help. They've thought of this stuff ahead of time.
TSM definitely put a lot of thought into their pregame. We saw in the video that they were worried about the shot calling from Reggie. Sometimes he gets a little quiet if he's under pressure. It definitely looks like this game he's been on point, and he has been focused on making those shot calls. So they may have patched that up. The hook barely missing the odd one.
So we have 1 minute 30 seconds here. It's going to be a lot of poke back and forth. An all-in would be very surprising until that dragon comes up, because somebody wants to get a definitive push on the advantage. At 13 minutes, eyes on the middle first turret here for Team Solo Mid.
Curse really just trying to fend off TSM for as long as they can, because they have Voyboy split on the side here, getting some farm. Now he's coming over, so they might want to turn it around under the turret.
Ooh, he misses the anchor toss, but he'll get that back up quite soon. It's going to be going in. The box is down. Elements get shredded out. Wild Turtle using the bullet time perfectly, but he also gets bumped around. A lot of TSM is doing well, just staying out of turret aggro. Voyboy coming, trying to go back in. He jumps to Dyrus. Can Dyrus get another slice and dice? He just goes for the auto attacks, and it's going to be a triple kill for Wild Turtle, and he stood in the middle of that fight.
Again, the AoE comp that TSM have borrowed from Curse really paying off right there. Dyrus went diving by himself. On the turnaround, we just say, oh, Voyboy, you're going to run into the alligator there. He cut your head off there. Rewarded with a turret as well. Another win for TSM, and they get out with just slivers.
They were able to take down 2, so it's a little bit of gold going in favor of Curse. I don't think we saw any shutdowns going in favor of Curse, so they're only getting a bit of that. The Bilgewater Cutlass coming in as they're looking for that Hextech Gunblade onto Voyboy. Keep himself sustained up in that lane, and then he'll start to probably build himself some defense.
Dyrus already with 114 armor, finishing up that Sunfire Cape. A lot of Renekton's rushing for that one. Now, it looks like they might even feed him red buff as Reggie takes the blue by himself.
me go ahead and take a quick look at. Okay, he has 1,600 gold. Let's take a look at the 80 carries though, because 1,600 gold is going to buy you a BF sword to the Bloodthirster Last Whisper of Wild Turtle right now.
Yeah, Wild Turtle definitely sitting pretty there. 4 kills, plus he's got higher CS, and they're gonna go for this dragon as they send Jackie top. The teleport is up for this bug to come down if they decide to go in here, but no other members of Curse are close, so that's going to be even more gold going in the favor of TSM.
Hopefully Jackie actually has the time to take this. Cop is going to head to that top lane, and Jackie may not have the damage to get this, so thwarted there as Curse tries to give themselves some advantages. Curse, or TSM, doing everything they can to stop that.
Wild Turtle definitely going to fight Jackie under the turret. The Void Spikes already went out, so there's not much Jackie can still offer. He uses the ultimate into the bush.
He did actually lose his strut there on the attack because he got spiked, so he was able to get away. Jackie playing it safe, but it was only going to be a few more shots for Wild Turtle to get that kill, so we can see just how scaled above the rest of Curse he is right now. Maybe if he fought against Void Boy, it could be somewhat of a challenge, but I think it's still going Wild Turtle's favor right now.
TSM taking a little breather right now. They've got a great lead. They've played the map perfectly. They've got all the outer turrets. They just took the second dragon right there, and none of their outer turrets have fallen. So they just have to now keep up the ward presence. Ward deep inside of Curse's jungle and continue to cut off their supply line. Don't let them get any free farm. The gold coming out of all those neutral minions actually will stack up pretty quickly. So they need to continue to press this advantage that they have and use that AoE comp that they have to go for the big objectives, like that red buff that Cop was just able to take.
Team Solo Mid, continuous pressure on the map. They are not letting up one bit. What they're lacking right now is an Oracles to clear out the wards they're warding on top of, but if they're not getting engaged on with their wards, they're really not getting or making Curse any stronger. They're just letting them know they have vision there. So we'll see it 7-5, 17 minutes in, and 6,000 gold down if Curse can pull themselves back into this one.
It's interesting to see what Curse is going to do to come back from this, because their comp is really centered on grabbing someone with a hook, either a Nautilus hook or a Thresh hook, and then using their 2 assassins to burst that single target down very quickly, hopefully getting the reset there for Jackie to be able to jump back out. But the whole comp here for TSM have now gotten so far ahead that their front line is ridiculously beefy. If you land your hook onto Dyrus, then they won't even care. He'll gladly come on in, and that will be a pretty bad initiate for Curse. So the dual assassin composition here, relying on catches with hooks, really depends on some early aggression, and they haven't really been able to pull that off. Now going right into the Cop is Reggie.
Oh, they stand on the Lantern, not allowing him to use it. A good amount of crowd control is exactly what Cop needs. Peel for Cop, keep him alive, and get him fed.
All right, so the Chains of Corruption are down for Cop right now, and Reggie still has his flash up. The ultimate form Diana comes back up very quickly. He will not have burned out any cooldowns for that trade. As we see Jackie, again, split pushing. This turret is taking a beating, though. Wild Turtle, hit after hit, it does go.
Reginald, another dive in. He gets boxed out. Everybody hits the corners of the box that mean it. And Void Boy is going to get bolted down. They pink ward inside his shroud. TSM just going ham on Curse right now. Cop forced to run. Dyrus not getting. He actually forces a flash by turning around. Cop was so scared. He's going to go ahead and take out the inhibitor and the inhibitor, or turret and inhibitor.
Yeah, the crescendo plus bullet time, too strong right there. Jackie late to the party this time. Wanted to finish his split push, but now they one more hit. There we go. Element or X Special decides to turn around, get that one, and TSM walk away with a huge prize right there. Now they're even heading over towards that blue buff to check it. It's not up right now, so they won't get anything out of it on this run, but they have complete control of the map now.
Complete control of what has really been a crazy game. I don't think, did we see one gank really from the junglers if it wasn't like a teleport in team mosh? Because really St. Vicious didn't get in lane to throw any anchors and get anybody. It wasn't Odd One getting into lane, so these guys have really just kind of been feeling each other out and adapting to the game as it goes. 20 minutes in, we've seen quite different play from both of these teams.
We have the Hextech Gunblade completed for Void Boy, so he's got some burst, and he does have a blue elixir. So the hope is there for Curse to be able to hook someone and then burst them down with their 2 assassins still. They're kind of banking on that one, though. TSM, really all they have to do is stay moving as a cohesive unit, keep the team together, not spread out too much, and they can win any team fight that they decide to go for at this point. They just have to not get caught out. As I say this, they're splitting up. We got the Bash Bros top, as well as 3 people trying to defend middle.
Yeah, they really don't have their siege clear champions middle whatsoever. Diane on the backside here of MF, she's going to be able to get a good make it rain down, but they could probably get some good poke on that turret if they wanted to.
Here comes the odd one heading down, pulling sort of a pincer movement. They might try and flank, but there's a good ward, a lot of good ward coverage here for Curse. They won't get caught out. They know that the Baron is a hot point right now. It still does a lot of damage. This is only 20 minutes into the game. Even though TSM are really far ahead, Baron is okay, they are going to go for it. There goes the Nasus ultimate.
This is definitely different from Team Solo Mid. Both of these teams know how dangerous it is to focus on an objective this early in the game. The words are coming back out. They say, let's go right on it. They put the depth charge on to Wild Turtle, but it's not going to be enough if the rest of them can't dive. There's a crescendo to go right across. Team Solo Mid's health bars are winning this fight over abilities right now even. Elements looks to run away here. They will lock and shut him down. The Wither comes out. It's going to be Jackie running straight up. They'll probably pick up the Baron. If not, they're going to charge down to an inhibitor.
Sainvis is trying to get in there onto Wild Turtle. They hope that all the assassins plus the front line could get in, burst down the AD carry, but bullet time goes off. Everybody takes a lot of AoE damage, and then they just get cleaned up. TSM gonna take the Baron off the back of this one. Jackie's nowhere near to steal it. Neither is St. Vicious or Boy.
You know, it's funny, I said they could have taken an inhibitor, but the spawn times are still about 20 seconds. It's still that early in the game that they're taking this Baron, and they're actually having a little bit of trouble. It seems like he's almost healing, but he's not. He's dead.
We don't have any home guard boots coming out from Curse because 3 of their members still at level 1 boots. Don't even have the option to upgrade those
Boy
yet.
was usually the first to grab that too.
Pretty poor right now, each member of Curse. TSM just completely wrecking this. Huge gold lead for only 21 minutes. Plus now they have the Baron buff. They just went back to finish their items. Look at the Aegis of the Legion on top of the Locket of the Iron Solari. And Reggie with the all-important Sonya's Hourglass, going to help him a lot. He's a lot like that Pobelter playstyle where he gets in the middle, and that's going to be guaranteeing him another 2.5 seconds on the map.
All right. See what 2.5 seconds provide for them, because League is that game of seconds. And it's also a game of dragons here for Team Solo Mid in Game 4 of the day of your LCS matches. Another one going in their favor in a 13,000 gold lead. It's actually about 12,000 since they just hit 26, but still it's enough to make really a huge impact. A lot of members on TSM can put themselves in a 2v1 situation right now.
Jackie trying to split push still. Curse are not giving up. They want to play to the strengths that they do possibly still have left. Actually, he's just going to recall now. Doesn't even want to wait for the teleport, as the TSM are not waiting around either. They've got a minion wave on this bottom turret.
They slowly pushing. Where is Wild Turtle? He's hanging off to the side. You can see X Special hugging him. They are running hip and hip. Reginald putting himself in the front with the odd one, and Dyrus. Great positioning here as they enter into this fight. And Elements looking to land that hook and start the fight. We actually saw Atomic flash box to start a fight that won them the game earlier. We'll have to see if they can do it once again.
Really, all TSM have to worry about now is a hook landing on X Special or Wild Turtle. Even if they're able to hook Reggie, he does have that Zanya's, and he'll be able to go invulnerable. Oddwin and Dyrus definitely not afraid of it. They can pop their ultimates. One poke is all they really need on the turret for each minion wave, though, because the middle inhibitor is down. The waves are slowly pushing in TSM's favor. There's a hook onto X Special, but nobody's in place.
That was very Elements-esque. He loves to put himself up for, you know, the kill there, and then he'll get out sneakily every time. Reginald trying to go in with that slash, but he does not get it to connect. They're still working those blue buffs. The toss from Sentence is down. They're going to find a little bit of safety in this as they with their cop as well. They're really pushing their advantages here to take out all the damage. Right onto Wild Turtle. He gets locked down. Everybody to the back line. But their crescendo comes out. Wild Turtle is somehow still alive with half HP. The Baron is just helping them regen. They crush the fight. The GGs are coming out from Curse. The inhibitor goes down, and they look to take down the Nexus turrets.
Completely beasted with that AoE comp there, beating on the Nexus turrets. And Wild Turtle, he shot his